Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using one of the kits out of the Flavors of the Month kit from the ScrapRoom, and I will be using the Be Happy collection from Doodlebug. So I will try to remember what papers, embellishments go with what, and let you know, because I do have the embellishment kit, I have the pattern paper kit, and I have the Shots of Life kit, which is a kind of like a pocket page kit. So I believe the paper I'm using here is from the main Flavors of the Month kit, and I am going to be using the black cardstock that comes with it as well. I cut the paper down to a couple thinner strips, and I'm going to place them on the outside edges of the cardstock. I did have to kind of get creative maybe, or really kind of think about what photo I wanted to use with this collection. When I was going through the ephemera though from the main kit, I had the title Queen Bee, and I immediately thought of my grandma, who is no longer with us, and so I had to kind of go through and find a photo of her and I, or of her, and I decided to re-scrapbook a photo from my wedding. And so it was kind of cool. The photo is actually in black and white, so with some colors in the flowers, and so I think having a black and white photo with this collection is really cool. I cut about 1/2 inch of that kind of black floral paper and added that to each side of the center, but left a tiny strip of black in between the two pattern papers. And then I knew I wanted kind of a larger mat for my photo in the middle. So I did mat my photo in black and white. But then I am using that yellow honeycomb, which I believe was the back side of the green outside paper on my layout. And so I am going to trim that down again just to kind of have a larger mat, so to speak, and somewhere for my title then to kind of sit on. So I am going to place my photo up towards the top a little bit more, and that's going to allow me to kind of squeeze my title on that paper a little bit. I am going to end up adding this strip of green directly down the middle of the page, and that's just again to bring in some more color, but also the phrase B is yellow, and so I did want to kind of break it up a little bit once I get the title on. It is outlined in white, so it would have stood out even without that green paper, but I figured why not add another pattern paper to the layout. So now I have that down. That is all I'm going to do with the papers, and now we just get to embellish. So this ephemera and those puffy stickers at the top, those all came with the Flavors of the Month kit. In the embellishment kit, there was a doodle pop, which I was thrilled about. I love those. So I actually am going to use that on this layout as well. And I'm trying to think, the sticker sheet was in the embellishment. Wait. Maybe both. Maybe the sticker sheet was in both. Now I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyway, one had either the Shots of Life had the doodle pop. I think the embellishment kit had the doodle pop, and then the Shots of Life kit had the sticker sheet. Don't quote me on that. But again, they are just additional add-on pieces to create your layouts with. So I knew again that I wanted to include quite a few bees on this layout because we called her Bee. So you can see I'm kind of playing around with different pieces, and here's the doodle pop. It is just florals, and I decided to add that to the bottom. I love the way that looks actually, and it's just so fun. I did have to kind of pick out some of the inside pieces. They have some of the white in them, and so I had to pick those out in between the leaves, so they were really tiny. So that's what I was doing there. And then they had 2 Doodle Pop bees, so I added one to the florals at the bottom, and then the other one kind of up above the honey pot that I added next to the title. This is where I kind of struggled. I really liked the way that the bottom looked, but I didn't know what else to do. So I kind of wanted a cluster at the top here. I found a Love This kind of arrow sticker, so I thought that would look nice up at the top. I did like that black tab. Again, it was yellow on yellow, so I wanted something to break that up, so that black tab worked really nice. I'm going to keep that bee at the top. Found a phrase sticker that said love you, so I ended up adding that under the queen bee title. And so that is pretty much what's going to finish off that top cluster, but I felt like I needed something else as well. I'm playing around with different hearts and pieces that were on those puffy stickers, playing around with adding another tab, but it just wasn't large enough maybe. I didn't love the tab on the right of the photo. Playing around with some of the flowers as well. I'm going to tuck one under the Love This arrow there. And again, just trying to find something to use. I do end up finding a sticker that says Life is Sweet. It's green. I was really trying to kind of even out maybe where some of the colors were. So I kind of felt like the green on the right of the photo worked really nicely. So then it's just kind of playing around with other bits and pieces to kind of maybe spruce that up a little bit. So I did add that black floral sticker, and then I'm going to add a puffy heart and then use some of the puffy bees and scatter those kind of around the speech bubble that's not a speech bubble anymore because I covered up that spot. So just kind of playing around with that. And then I guess I did already add the hearts to the queen bee at the kind of underneath of that queue. So that's going to finish off this layout. I had a lot of fun creating with this one. It's a little bit different because I am such a themed scrapbooker. So this one I kind of struggled a little bit more, but I think it is just a gorgeous collection. So definitely check out the ScrapRoom. If you see something you like, grab it because it will or can sell out. So check out the ScrapRoom for all of these kits, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.